Yeah, so obviously this is not the send-off that we wanted to give you.
Well,
We wanted to do something much more meaningful and much more well-attended than the sparse group that we
no,
have here.
I get it.
Really, we were only going to have 3 or 4 people, but the demand exceeded our intentions. But we really wanted to at least do something now, and then we'll have a bigger
Yeah, we
celebration
can do
later.
something when the time's right.
Yeah. You know, you and I go back a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the 80s when I was a resident
I know.
and working in the Finch Jaeger building. And I have to say that you've always been an example to me, as you've been an example to many. The way that you work with patients, the way that you maintain a positive attitude, your care for your teammates, your care for our community. I've learned a lot from you, and for that I say thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'll echo. I mean, it's been an amazing time, and have met a lot of great people, and learned a ton along the way, and you know, it opened up a lot of opportunities to do things I never thought I would be able to do, and so it's been a really fun time, and been a great group to work with. So I'd be missing that, but also looking forward to doing some new things. And you know, I've always looked at retirement as a chance to do something else, not just a time to sit. And I'm not a good, I don't sit well.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of things that I want to be paying some attention to, and just looking forward to a new chapter, I think.
Well, we're excited for you.
Yeah.
One of the wisest things I've heard is you can't add years onto the end of your retirement, only the beginning.
Right.
So we're excited that you're going to be able to do that.
Well, thank
To
you
send
so
you
much.
off, we've got a few things. One, we're starting a new tradition to recognize those that have really contributed to Duke Sports Medicine, and you're at the top of the list of those
Great.
people. So this plaque will stay in the conference room to recognize your contributions to sports
Wow.
medicine, which are significant.
Really nice. I think that's great.
And Ned, we're going to save you for last. Is that okay?
That's fine.
I think Scott has something that he wants to present and say.
Yeah, so as a PA, you've been an inspiration to many of us, not only as a coworker, but to some of us before we were even in PA school, to some of us while we were in PA school, and to all of us once we had a job here. I mean, you've been a very good mentor. You've taught me to be kind of even-keeled and to sometimes temper my feelings, which it comes in handy. I think that's been very good. So we wanted to come together and just sort of come up with a way to thank you. And there's a lot of us, a lot of different opinions. And so with some help, we found probably the best letter that we could read to sort of kind of highlight how we feel about you. And for those not in the know, this is a letter that Dr. Garrett wrote as a letter of recommendation for John many years ago. It just kind of highlights how great he is.
It was for my recredentialing one year, and apparently it was okay because I didn't get fired.
This was back, Ray, when we were talking when there was only 6 PAs. I guess we couldn't afford to fire him at that
But
point.
this is classic Dr.
Yeah.
This is classic Dr. Garrett.
This letter is a recommendation for Mr. John Howard Lonis. His clinical skills clearly have to rate average or better. Since the awful incident with the fatal prescription, John has been much more diligent in his clinical approach. Those of us who know him agree that since he dissolved his association with that crowd he was hanging out with, his behavior has been much more predictable. Everyone has always agreed that when John came to work, he really worked pretty hard. You can count on him being there most days. The rehab sessions have been a big help, and I think that counseling with a psychologist have really helped him out there too. He has a very good temperament with patients unless the patients are too demanding. I don't think that many of those complaints filed with the university against John were his fault. We have some really demanding patients here in orthopedics, and I thank God I don't have to deal with it myself. Those stories about John giving the laxative to the paraplegic are highly exaggerated. He works well with the staff, except for those who anyone would have trouble working with. As you can tell, I have no trouble with giving him a recommendation. A good job with a structured environment and good support can make him relatively productive. All right? I just hope to have someone say words like that about me one day. And so as a group, we decided you warranted some recognition. You looks like you're pretty average here. So all of us APPs decided that you definitely are in our Hall of Fame as well. And we wanted one that was almost as tall as you.
Right. Wow, where'd you come up with that?
A group decision. But thanks so much for all you've done. This comes from all the APPs. You've been kind of a great model for all of us, I think.
Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Where I'll put this.
It's a new, the mantle.
Ray, did you want to add on to that?
I don't, it's great comments by Dr. Taylor, and we were just talking, Scott and I were talking a minute ago. I came into the department like almost 16 years ago, and there were 7 PAs in the department. And John served as a great mentor to me early on, without a doubt, and has continued. And was the first really strong APP leader in our department, and paved the way for lots of advancements for PAs and APPs in general. And so, we can never thank you enough for the work you've done both in the department and on the university side with Allison Dimsdale and the PDC. And so those will be remembered. And then, as the formal PA leader, we kind of twisted John's arm a number of years ago to take that role, because no one else was willing to do it. It was, John, you'd be the perfect person to do this, and he graciously did it for much longer than he originally wanted to sign up for. So we appreciate it immensely, and you have our warm thanks for all that you've done and continue to do. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. I mean, when I started, there were 4 PAs and I think 10 surgeons in our department, and that was it.
Yeah.
So to see,
and now we're over 50.
Expansion is just amazing.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
Eva has some special gifts for you.
I'm on that Ash. I wanted to read it myself, but I can't read it. Ash is going to read it, and you already know what it is.
So this is a letter from one of John's patients that pretty much just shows how much he cares about just everyone. Dear John, words cannot express the gratitude I feel for allowing me to be your pupil over the years. I have learned so much.
This was from a shadow
Okay,
student.
okay.
Yeah.
I have learned so much from you, not only as a physician, but as a human being and a friend. I remember how it started every single day. I tore my ACL and I told my mom that I could be interested in working in this field, and she spiked up the courage in me to ask if I could shadow you. I had no idea you were going to say yes, because I was just some other patient with no close ties to anyone in the staff. To my delightful surprise, you allowed me to shadow you, and I had the process of registering and getting an ID badge, and I felt in some way part of the staff, all thanks to you. I wasn't always the best student when it came to work ethic. There wasn't many things that drove me to continue working hard, but through my experience following you, I found a new passion and desire to be somewhere close to where you ended up. I was very distraught after both ACL tears. I was very depressed and didn't want to do anything because my sports career was cut short, especially with the timing of both injuries. Yet the clinic and you were always there, along with the physical therapy staff, to pick me back up and find another avenue to build a career for my life. I enjoyed coming to shadow every single day. I would wake up before my alarm would go off and rush out of the house knowing I would be super early just to come and learn from the best. I remember all the patients we have had, from the cool patient with blue glove syndrome to the old man with tennis elbow. I have seen an array of patients, and although you say jokingly it is all just people who want injections, we both know it is a little more than that. I hope you enjoy your retirement. It is something that you deserve more than ever. I have appreciated the last 7 years now that you have allowed me to learn from you and the life lessons you gave me, and the opportunity to have a brilliant mentor like you to shepherd me in my academics, but also someone that I can call a friend. The lesson I will remember the most was our first week shadowing when I came for spring break. You turned to me and told me that at some point I would need to decide what type of doctor approach I would take. I looked at you puzzled, and you described how I can either become a doctor that treats people like robots, where they come in, get fixed, and leave, or I can treat them like a friend every time and not only treat the injury, but treat the person. You would always say, we treat the patient, not the x-ray. And that will be the biggest life lesson I will take from that. And I think I know what kind of doctor I would like to strive for. I aspire to become someone that could become close to the level of physician that you and Dr. Garrett were. You both have changed my life completely and for the better. Who knows what I would be doing right now without you two. And thank you both for all of that every day. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the clinic space with you, John. It has been an amazing 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And then we all came up with an album.
Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. How'd you find all these pictures? Oh, my gift card. All right. Home Depot. Check in my favorite place. Oh, wow. These are awesome. I'll have to take some time to go through
Yeah,
all
you
this.
will.
Thank you, everybody. This
Yeah.
is really.
Eva led the charge on all of that.
Yeah.
So we owe her a lot of thanks for.
Well, I
for
talked to
pulling all
the
this.
soccer coach, and Brian said I can still come sit on the sidelines. I don't know. I'm gonna be sitting on the sidelines. We'll probably be up in the stands this year.
Watching on TV.
I didn't write anything, but I just want to say how much I appreciate you.
No,
I'll be seeing you at my cookouts when we can get together.
That's
But
right.
anyway,
That's
when I
right.
do,
Like I said, I'm not disappearing. I just don't see everybody every day.
Yes. And I think Ned has something from the division too.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot more to add. Everybody said some nice words, and John, obviously you've had a great career, 39 years in the same place. I guess I don't know what that's like. I've moved to 3 different places, but obviously dedicated. And I think I echo everybody else's comments. I can tell you the whole division was very eager to thank you for everything you've done. And, we wanted to get you something that you could remember us by, and you can look at it and be useful. So here's a Duke clock,
All right. Great.
Duke logo with the inscription,
Wow. Official.
John Lonis with his 39 years of service. So
That's great.
thank
so
you very much on
Appreciate
behalf
it.
of the division.
I don't know what time it is.
You won't care about that after.
So John, I know we're probably breaking all the social distancing rules, but this was too important not to do this.
Well, we were all screened on the way in.
We were all screened, we're wearing our masks,
Right.
and for the video,
Yeah. Thank you, John.
we are being very mindful of what we're doing, so we don't want to drag this out, and we'll have a sterilized cake cutting here in a little bit.
Yeah,
But all of us wish you all the best in the next chapter of your life. We look forward to seeing all the great things to come and being a part of it. And please let us know how we can help.
Well, I will. Like I said, I live 10 minutes from here, and I'm not disappearing, so I'll still be involved with some other things at Duke. Just not seeing patients every day, so
Yeah.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
Thanks for
I'll
everything.
keep in
Standing
touch with
ovation
everybody.
for you.
Yeah, thank you.